चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज वृंदावन धाम की जय। नदीपार धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समावित भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to Samudra. All glories to Samudra. All glories to Samudra. Glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Anything. All right.
What do you like, Maharaj?
Anything. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. जगन्नाथ ની વાત કરો. આખું જગત જગન્નાથ ની પાસે પડે. But that's good. After all, we have to prove that he is really the Lord of the universe, right? And he is much appreciated, much exposed than Radha Krishna deities. Let's see, we'll talk about Jagannath from Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All right. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 7 and text number 24. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mam abuddhaya param bhavamajananto mama vyayamanutamam. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhaya param bhavamajananto mama vyayamanutamam. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhaya param bhavamajananto mama vyayamanutamam. Avyaktam, non-manifested. Vyaktim, personality. Apannam, achieved. Manyante, think. Mam, me. Abuddhaya, less intelligent person. Param, supreme. Bhavam, existence. Ajanantaha, without knowing. Mama, my. Avyayam, imperishable. Anuttamam, the finest. We have our Anandama. This is the finest. Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Long purport, okay? So I will try to, wow. 3 pages. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Those who are the worshipper of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons. And here the impersonalists similarly are described. They are also less intelligent. Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna. And still, due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Yamunacharya, a great devotee of the Lord, and his disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, Swamashila Rupa Charita Parama Prakrishtai Satvena Satvikataya Pralabhaischa Shastraihi Prakhyata Deva Paramartha Vaidam Attastisya Naivasura Prakritaya Prabhavanti Buddhum. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva, Narad, know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities, and one can understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the boats of passion and ignorance, the demons and non-devotees cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you, however expert such non-devotees may be discussing Vedanta and Upanishad and other Vedic literatures. It is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. This is in Stotra Ratna 12th verses there by Yamunacharya. Is in line of Ramanujacharya. In Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by the study of the Vedanta literature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can the personality of the Supreme is to be known. Therefore, this verse is clearly stated that it is not only the worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent, but the non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta speculation in the Vedic literature without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as abuddhaya, which means that those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to localized super soul. But the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. Vadanti tattva vidastatvam yadgyanam advayam brahmedi paramapnedi bhagwan ishabdate. That is the verse. So, modern impersonalists are less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great predecessor Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the Supreme Truth, think Krishna to be only the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or as prince or powerful living entity. This is also condemned in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 11th verse. Avajananti mama mudha manushim tanumasritam param bhavam ajananta mama bhuta maheshwara. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, 29th verse, this is confirmed. Athapite deva padambujattvaya prasadaleshanugrahite vahi janati tattvam bhagavan mahinno nachanya eko chiram vichinman. My Lord, if one is favored even by the slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or his form, quality, or name simply by material or mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Then only can one understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotees, impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made up of a material nature and that all his activities, his form, and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis that do not know the ultimate truth. The 20th verse clearly states, Kamaistatyar hata jnana prapadyantinya devata. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender unto different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have the different planets, and the Lord has his own planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, the Devan Deva Yajo Yanti Madhyayino Pimam Papi. The worshippers of the demigods go to different planets of the demigods, and those who are the devotees of Lord Krishna go to Krishna planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and their abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and demigods have their own. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that the form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated that it is not it is not imposed. From Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the form of the demigods and the form of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Krishna is Satchidananda, eternal, blissful, and knowledge. The Vedic literature confirms that the Supreme Absolute Truth, knowledge, is blissful pleasure. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma, that is, Brahma, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in 3rd canto, 9th chapter, 28th verse is there. And that he is the reservoir of ultimate auspicious qualities. Ananta Kalyan Gunatmako Asav. This is in Vishnu Puran, 6th chapter, 6th canto, 5th chapter, 84th verse. And in the Gita, the Lord says, although he is Aja, unborn, he still appears. Ajopi Sannabhe Atma Bhutanam Ishvaropi San. Prakritim Swam Avastapya Sudhyami. So, we cannot understand how Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. An imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of Gita are concerned. It is clear here that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Shri Krishna, has both form and personality. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthaptam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kamatim Tadati Swapakam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapatam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sankarajatam Sahakara Raghunatham Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamam Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripasindhu Kidesha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauramani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Dishakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram. So, in relation to Lord Jagannath, we have to understand how come the Lord Jagannath has this kind of form. His Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jagannath, Lord of the universe. What is the secret to understand that Lord has form? That is a subject matter of devotees. अंग्रेजी में बोलो तो वांधा નથી ને ગુજરાતીમાં તો પછી મારે તો તેલુગુમાં પણ બોલવું પડે અને આજે તો મલાયાલમમાં પણ બોલવું પડે એવું લાગે મને બેમાંથી કઈ નથી આવડતું સાંભળ્યા કરો પ્રભુપાદ said just listen. Sound vibration એટલે ભગવાન શબ્દની જે ધ્વનિ છે તેને સાંભળવાનું છે ધ્વનિ અંગ્રેજીમાં હોય કે ગુજરાતીમાં હોય શું ફરક પડવાનો આપણે જમવા બેસીને ત્યારે વાત કરીશું. So the important point is that how do we recognize that Krishna has form? Actually, absolute truth, personality of Godhead, is understood in three phases. Vadanti tattva vidam. Tattva means the truth. So those who are seekers of the truth, they also include impersonal, personal, everybody, because they are all seekers of truth. So vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti. The seekers of the truth know that the Supreme Absolute is existing in three different ways. But one may give you partial realization, other may give you a little more, but the perfect realization is in the personality of God. If we cannot understand the form of Lord Krishna, then how are we going to understand that we have our also original form? So those who are obsessed with only formation, then science will tell us, nothing is impersonal. Nothing is impersonal. It is not obscure. Everything is a form. And constitution of the form, atomic or subatomic, but it is particular. Particles. And they also found out there is also existence of anti-particular law. Completely reverse. They understand the characteristics of a material particle is that it is existing with certain qualities. Everything can be examined by the quality. All right. But they also postulated, because they were, whenever they split the atom, there was a loss in atomic weight. An atom has a weight. And weight is in the number. What is the atomic weight of hydrogen? 1. Science, right? Right. Why they say 1? Nitrogen has how much? No, atomic weight. I forgot. Okay, that's why I'm asking. But whatever, it is not important. But they have atomic weight. Carbon has 6, right? They attribute the numbers. Then they also found when splitting atom, the atomic weight was becoming less. More they split, it was becoming less. So, where is that? They cannot attribute. They cannot see, but they calculated that how come the atomic weight is getting lesser? When the atom is split, it must be escaping somewhere. In the splitting of atom, you cannot get everything. So they thought there must be another kind of particle which is completely behaving reverse than material particle. So they named it as anti-particle. This research was done in 1959, and there was a news clipping Prabhupada got in his hand from Times of India. The 2 American scientists were given Nobel Prize for postulating the anti-particle. And their names are given. And their theory is also. They say they postulate 3 propositions are there. The first one, that there exists an anti-particle. Second thing, the characteristics of an anti-particle is completely reverse than the material particle. And third thing, that in given time and space, if both come and collide with each other, there will be total devastation. Total. And Prabhupada picked up from that. And he wrote Easy Journey to Other Planets, the first book in 1959 that came out. And ISKCON is publishing that. Prabhupada wrote, these three propositions are there, and they brought Nobel Prize for it. Let's examine, it says. There exists an antiparticle. Prabhupada said, we agree. And it has completely opposite characteristics of the particle. Prabhupada said, yes, we do agree. And the third proposition, that in given time and place when these two particular and antiparticle world come together, there will be total devastation. Prabhupada said, we don't agree. Then he says, Parastasmatu bhavanyo vyakta vyakta sattana. Besides this material nature, there is a higher nature which is called, it is beyond vyakta and avyakta, but it is sanatana. If we see through our eyes, we agree that there is some existence, but it's a limited vision. All right? Intelligence of scientists, they can postulate and get the Nobel Prize because of their intelligence. They calculated the loss of the atomic weight, and on that basis, he said, there must be something which is behaving completely opposite. Right? That is antiparticle world. And Prabhupada said, yes, Atma is an antiparticle. And Atma has its own world. But it exists. Science cannot deny. The third thing, Prabhupada said, we do not agree. Particular world can be finished, but antiparticle world cannot be finished. It's Sanatana, forever. So, if it is forever and agreeable that it is existing, then everything is possible. Why to say that it is impersonal? Personality is also there, but an antiparticular personality has to be understood as a different, completely opposite characteristics. Right? So, Krishna and his world, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana. Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Vigraha means the form, personality. And it is composed of eternity, full of knowledge and bliss. Satchidananda Vigraha. Now, how to experience? And Baba, if you are part and parcel of this Satchidananda Vigraha, you must have that eternal form also of Satchidananda Vigraha. But then, what foolishness made you to come here in this material world, which is of Asat, Achit, and Niranand form? Do you think the body is source of pleasure or source of miseries? The young with blushing mode of passion, they think it is pleasure. But mind well, it is nothing but misery. And your intelligence will be baffled. So they should be trained up that if both the worlds are existing, and you belong to the antiparticular world as a soul of the Supreme, it's a part and parcel. He's not made up of material elements, material particles. Otherwise, it is easy to be controlled by the science. But unfortunately, foolish scientists are completely mesmerized. They started Osho studies, an entire particular world and understand. But our scriptures are based on that you do not belong to the material world. You have been placed in the material world, and you are not a lump of ignorance. The body is a lump of ignorance, but you are not. Sharira vidya ja, as you watch it. Don't worry. But I am trying to say, Sharir avidya ja. Itko samjho na. This material body is a lump of ignorance. How much intelligence can you cultivate through the lump of ignorance? Now, knowledge or intelligence is completely different from our information gathering technique. You gather only information. If you collect more information, do you think you have a higher IQ? IQ means ignorant quotient also, or idiotic. Don't be an idiot. There is not only one-sided world. Everything has two-sided coins and like that. The value is the same, but one bears a personality, another simply expression. When you toss the coin, head or tail, right? Means there is a face of someone, either an emblem or some personality is there. And at the back, tail means there's only little value, but there is nothing important. So the value is head or tail. It's a duality. So as the material personality is also existing because it is composed of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. It makes material personality. But this material existence is coming from three modes of material nature, binding the three aspects of temporary existence. The Shakti is there. When Shakti is bound by the modes, it makes form. The transformation of Krishna's Shakti in the material Shakti is earth, water, air, fire. They have been bound up with the three modes, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. And that can give you a body of four-legged animals as well as human beings and demigods and everybody. So what's the big deal? Spiritual personality is also having spiritual energy bound up by the spiritual modes. That is, Sandhini, Samvit, and Radhini Shaktis are bound by Sat, Chit, and Anand modes. That gives a transcendental form. That gives a transcendental form. Now, if you see how to approach this transcendental form, you have to go through both theory and practice. So that is called idam tute guhyatamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnana vijnana saitam yat gyatva mokshasya. Arjuna, I'm telling you the most confidential knowledge about my personality, and to achieve the personality, the process which is called transcendental devotional service, bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanati javannaschashti tatpatah tato ma tatputo gyatva vishate tadantaram. Only by undivided devotional service can I be known as I am standing before you, Arjun. Not only that, you will be able to know me in truth, but you will be able to see me in truth, and you will be able to interact. This is the spiritual perspective. Otherwise, if we try to understand through the medium of bodily senses, it's impossible. So those who are in bodily conception, they can say, oh, Krishna may be some inconceivable, but he does not have form. Baba, you don't have eyes to see them. You don't have the intelligence of the entire particular world that is spiritual. This is the analysis according to Bhagavad Gita. माथा ऊपर से चतुरी तो कोई जायज अंदर. No, it's too much. You understand in English. I will have to tell them in Gujarat. Right? So this is a very important step that Srila Prabhupada is exposing. That, first of all, if you cannot measure through your 5 blunt senses, do not perceive anything, do not come to the wrong conclusion. Examine your 5 senses. Are they perfect? No. Then, with imperfect instrumentation, how can you think that this is perfect? Because the senses are not perfect, they can commit mistakes. To err is human. So there you fail. Moreover, both the truths are existing, one for temporary and another eternal. If you know only the measurement through your blunt senses, you fail. You will never pass. So you have to acknowledge the Atma Tattva. Otherwise it is said, especially Grahastha, because this life in the household of life is so much entangling that you're becoming more materially obsessed. More materially obsessed. So be aware. It's a dangerous situation. नूनम प्रमत्त कुरुते विकर्म जड़ेन्द्रिय प्रीतने आपनोति न साधु बंदे आपनो असतपि क्लेशत आसते. We become so meddled in materialistic activities that we end up doing vikarma, not even karma. Means completely opposite. Just for pleasure of the senses. Jad indriya. You think our senses are very highly active? What makes it active? What makes our senses knowing by touching, tasting, smelling, seeing, hearing, all the five senses. Do you think they are only meant for checking out the matter? Then the energy which called consciousness is spiritual in nature, and we abused it. These five senses were created by Lord Shri Krishna because five objects have been created first. Then the senses were created and the sense organs were created. Means 15 plus earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego. So 23 elements have been created by Krishna to recognize what is our reality. But we become obsessed. Shabda was created first. Sound, vibration. Therefore, the space was created to transport the sound vibration. Oh, there is vacuum in the space and you cannot send the sound vibration. Who said? If the sound vibration can go through the steel, sound vibration can go through the water, sound vibration can go through the air. There are different mediums, but subtle sound vibrations are also going through into space. They were trying to, one time in this YouTube, they wanted to hear the sound of sun, how it is transported through the space. They recorded it, but to take the so-called advantage, intelligent advantage on the sound vibration. Oh, it was saying, oh, and oh. And we chant Gayatri, offering to the sun god. And Bible also says, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God. The material sound vibration is coming through the space. Why not spiritual sound vibration can come? Chanting Hare Krishna is not material sound vibration, it is spiritual sound vibration. So we say, cultivate intelligence, which is spiritual in nature. That you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and see the effect, because it carries the transcendental sound vibration. So more we chant and more we concentrate, more hear the sound vibration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's name even, it will be conveyed through the heart. So, if all these energies are existing, there is subtle sound vibrations that can penetrate any medium. How did Prahlad Maharaj hear the transcendental teachings of Narad Muni, which was spoken to his mother, Kayadu, and he was in her womb? Kayadu listened, but Prahlad listened more. Kayadu did not become devotee. Prahlad became devotee. See, that transcendental sound vibration we are getting from chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it invokes and touches the sleeping soul and wakes it up. So, if transcendental sound vibrations is a fact, it is the beginning. So, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha spelled out the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Shri Krishna, and he is composed of eternity, full of knowledge and bliss, potency, formed personality. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, his composition is made up of Satchidananda. Now, again, that four-wheeler. How does, say, form of this microphone? It's a metal. It's part of earth, right? And metal has certain qualities that Asat, Achit, and Niranand qualities there. And artificial energy is giving to take the sound vibration and amplify. Right? So matter is there. Matter is composed of the energy, and the material energy is there. And again, just like it absorbs the sound vibration and it reflects in the speaker, it amplifies. So similarly, transcendental sound vibrations are affecting our soul, and it wakes it up. Jiva jago, Gaura Chandra bole, Kato nidra jao, Maya pishacha. Maya is pishacha. Maya is material in nature. Because we oppose Krishna, so we fell from the Satchidananda world down to this jail of material. That is it. Krishna कृष्ण भूली गेला जीव जब भोगवांछा करे माया तारे पासे तरने झापटिए झापट खाइए श्रीनाथजीના દર્શન કરવા જાય તો ઝાપટ ખાવી પડે એમ કે ઝાપટી માયા is slapping us. So in this way we see the formation. A form is the composition of energy, all right, which is bound by modes. There are three material modes, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. They are completely opposite of Sat, Chit, and Ra. And in the initial aspect of creation that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, in third canto, Maitreya Muni is telling that the jivas are having the transcendental form. They are minuscule, just like they are photons in the rays of sunlight. So similarly, Lord Vishnu, when desires to create, Sa ikshati sa iman lokanas. The Vedas say that he simply saw through his vision, he transported all the jivas into the womb of material nature. And that material nature in the primordial aspect is called Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva. The Tattva means truth, but the real truth is that all the living entities came into the existence from the spiritual world down to the material world, in the womb of material nature called Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is composed of the transcendental nature of the rays of vision, just like sunlight. If jivas are coming through the medium of vision of Lord Vishnu, it is simply said, Sa Ikshati. He saw where? In a spirit, in the whole spiritual sky, there was a spot, a little corner, where the three modes of Sattva, Raj, and Tamagun formed. And when the jivas are falling into simultaneously, they are enveloped by the modes. But they are the jivas. And they will be given varieties of the body according to their desires. So material formation is like this. And it is only said in the Vedas, it's Sa Ikshati Sa Iman Lokantas. Simply by seeing on the little corner in the spiritual sky, formation of the material world is there. So material world is occupying only very insignificant portion of the spiritual sky. It is existing in spiritual world, but it is having its own completely opposite characteristics. So when Satchidananda modes are reflected back in the material world, that's called Sattva, Raj, and Tama. Anand becomes Tama. Chit becomes Rajogun. Chit Shakti is supposed to original Saraswati to remind us, who are we? And she is sitting only in the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And heart to heart of Brahma, it was conveyed. So this process is that Chit Shakti, it is called Samvit potency. And the personification of Samvit potency is Saraswati, original. And not for high school or college goers, Saraswati. પરીક્ષા આવી સરસ્વતી માતાને પગે લાગીને જજે સારા માર્ક આવશે. કઈ સરસ્વતી? ભૌતિક બુદ્ધિ સરસ્વતીનો ધંધો નથી. सा विद्याया विमुक्तये. Big aphorism is there. Vidya is such that she liberates him. And Ishopanishad is also telling, Vidyam cha avidyam yastadvedo bhayam saha vidyayam mrutyam tirtva vidyayam amrutam ashtati. Avidyaથી મૃત્યુમાં જ જવાય અને વિદ્યાયામ અમૃતમ અષ્ટતિ. જો તમે ખરેખર વિદ્યા પ્રાપ્ત કરી હોય તો અમૃતમ ઇટર્નલ. કઈ સરસ્વતીને પૂજા કરે લોકોને ભાન જ નહીં મળે. But this is the fact. So to understand the personality, Saraswati માતાનો ફોટો જોયો હશે. અરે ગાયત્રી મંત્રમાં પણ ભેદ પાડે છે. કોણ કઈ ગાયત્રીને ભજે છે? એક જ શ્લોક છે, સરખો જ શ્લોક છે, પણ અર્થઘટન કરે જુદું જુદું. We also chant that, right? But our understanding is completely different. And nobody can challenge it. તો જે ગાયત્રી પરિવાર વાળા કોઈ હશે, કોઈ તમે જોઈન થયેલા છો? તમે ગાયત્રી પરિવારમાં હતા પેલા? जो झगड़ो थशे there are two versions of Gayatri, the same mantra. One is offered to Kamalasini Gayatri, and another, our method, is to offer Hansvahini Gayatri. Hans to Nirakshirno Vivek Jana. How to separate out spirituality from matter or amongst matter. That is the function of Hans. So those who are sadhus, those who are devotees, they must know what is the difference between matter and spirit. So just like matter has its own world, spirit has its also own world. Matter has personification, so spiritual has also personification. You can't. But those who are envious, like Mayavadis, Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi, they have short intelligence, they do not accept. So this is called personification. Otherwise, how will you understand that when Krishna appeared, lots of devotees wanted to come from even those who were in with Lord Ramchandra. The Rishimunis, they were saying, we want to see you in conjugal relationship. We want to relate to you. Ramchandra said, forget me. You wait till Krishna comes. Otherwise, Treta Yoga is the third yoga. Dwapar is the second. But Krishna tricked. Hey, Treta, you go first before me. So Treta this time came after Satya Yoga, and after Treta, Dwapar Yoga came. It's a special arrangement. Our Supreme Personality Godhead can do any day. Don't try to object. Try to understand. It's a challenging aspect. So, Krishna is the total in command of both spiritual and material. But he said, I'm not existing. I made material, but I'm not existing. Nachat from te avasthita. I am there. Maya tatamidam jagat sarvam avyakta murtina. I am pervaded in all the material world in my unmanifested form. But I have manifested in my spiritual. So when I descend, I do not assume material form. I will never come down lesser than my original self. So this is what is called personification. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he can appear according to the purity of one's devotional service. You know the story of Indradumna Maharaj. He was ruling Orissa almost 2200 years back. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. ખબર છે ને ગુજરાતીમાં બોલવું હવે. You know the story of Indradumna having the dream of, the Lord to appear and he can worship. So that was the Nilamadhav form, not our Nilamadhav. He is Nilamadav Das, but he is Nilamadav personified. And he has not seen the form yet, but he wanted to find out where it is. I am Gujarati में बोलूं पढ़वाऊं जानवा मता कोई तुमने ट्रांसलेट करने बता रहे थे ओके चलो हम પછી તમને all right એટલે હિન્દીમાં બોલું any objection of Hindi ચતુરાત નાયક બોલે છે તો ગુજરાતીમાં સમજવા પડે હિન્દીમાં come on માર મારી થશે you know so anyway personification is the ultimate phenomena. So vadanti tattva vidastatvam yad jnanam advayam. Advayam means non-dual. It's unified. No. Of course, influence of a person is impersonal. And his address is little more of indicating an existence of a place where he resides. But he himself is the person. So, if you want to know who is the president and you haven't seen Trump, okay? But you read every day about his influence, crazy influence or idiotic influence, but it is influence. Influence is impersonal, but that does not limit the knowledge. It gives partial understanding. Then you know the address White House. If you even visit the White House, you do not know him unless you come face to face and know him. He's a person. So similarly, vadanti tattva vidastatvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shakrate. Prabhupada said Bhagwan is the last word in God realization. Others are partial. So know in full. Do not simply speculate or doubt because you have limited knowledge. No, you can be inquisitive to know more. That is the remedy. Don't think that material knowledge, which is imperfect, is all in all. Science of devotional service is also based on confirmed faith. Confirmed faith. So, Adav Shraddha, but your faith will be confirmed in sadhusanga. It will be more practically experienced by bhajana kriya. And then, in association of the devotees, you will be more secured to advance. Alone you cannot do in Kali Yuga. So, you see each other, and if you have some imperfections, then you take help of others to become perfect. Otherwise, material world on our own is imperfect. So those who are progressing towards perfection, we must associate. Then we'll be able to eradicate unwanted things in our lives that are keeping us imperfect all the time. Right? So, Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are many personalities. He is the origin. Devatas are not origin. Devatas are also created beings of Brahma, number 10th creation. Devatas and Danavas. Number 9 is human being. And number 8, four-legged animals, birds, beasts, and microbes all the way. First 8 categories. They do not violate material nature's rules. They do not have any iota of spirituality. But sleeping soul can be invoked by sound vibration of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also able to get response from the animals. And even devotees chant, and sometimes dogs also interact. And deer can also interact. Cows can also interact. Because that is the nature of transcendental sound vibration. Transcendental means one which is beyond the measure of material sound vibration. There is a wavelength, measurable wavelength and immeasurable wavelength of the vibrations. But effect is there. So, anybody has any questions? I took your class in science today, right? હવે બોલો કેટલી સમજણ પડી? Yes.
Thank you for the nice class for it. Since the verse is about personal conception of the Lord, as practicing devotees, how do we cultivate the personal conception of the Lord and grow it more and more?
Because it is written, we take for granted. Because we want to have some faith, we cultivate the faith also in whatever he has been saying. But we do not realize, unless we study what is written. You know, reading is one thing, studying is another thing. Go deeper. So, meditation is also like that. Ashtanga Yoga, okay, you know what is meant by it, but then you have to put in practice, means you have to study and put in practice. Ramdev Baba will not say, no, you do, you get sick and come to me. He's telling so many exercises, but that's all asana. Pranayama. But that's not the cure. What are the other things? Why don't they teach? Because it's not the dharma of the age. It's a business of the age. Under the disguise of dharma. Befooling everybody.
Can you please put light on Jagannath Swarup of Krishna?
Right.
Light.
What was involved?
Swarup.
Yeah. But Swarupam kevi રીતે involved થયું? It's a bhakti. When you are trying to bring him, how much tribulation you have to go through. You can't get bhakti through experts in crafts. Even Vishwakarma could do only partial forms. Huh? But Indradhamna was perfectly situated. Never mind. Unfinished, so unfinished. These are the three forms of my conception that has been given in Srimad Bhagavatam, that this is Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, Lord Shri Krishna, his brother Baldev, and sister Subhadra. They three are appropriate to be pulled in the cart that Radharani envisioned, and she brought them back to Vrindavan. So, through such intensified devotional service, I mean, why the cart has to be so heavy there? Even the elephants of Maharaj Prataparudra could not push. While how could Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was able to move simply by putting his head behind the cart and push it? What is the difference between material power and spiritual power? So the spiritual aspect is more important in the formation of Jagannath. Is it not? And if it is spiritually cowed, you can worship and you get the same benefit. Deities are not simply stones and wood. Arche Vishnu Shiladhi, Guru Su Narmati, and Vaishnavar Jatir Buddhi Narki. It's condemned that think this is a black Vaishnava and this is a white Vaishnava. No, no. It's Narki Buddhi. They personally belong to Lord Shri Krishna. And whoever is going to go to Vrindavan, there is no distinction. Only devotees are favored. Karmis and Jnanis are not favored. That is Krishna's personal business. Nobody can indulge. Those who are Mayavadis, they cannot enter into the secrets of love and devotion. They hate him. They want to replace him by themselves. So, Narki Buddhi, hellish mentality. It does not lead to advance in human form of life, rather it degrades Naragami. So, without bhakti, one cannot understand the form of Lord Krishna also. One has to deep down study and meditate on the form. But without chanting, form will not be revealed. Call out his name because he reveals his own form. Nobody can reveal. You can describe, but revelation of the form of the Lord is only available to the devotees. And then also, devotees cannot twist and bribe Krishna to reveal his form. Krishna reveals himself if he pleases by someone, only him. Nayam atma pravachan labhya athava bahuna shrutirva then labhyate apavrutanuswam. If Krishna desires so, whom he wants to favor, only he will be revealed. Otherwise, it will not be revealed by erudite scholarships or lectures. No. Bhaktyamam abhijanati javanashyasmi tattvatah tato matatvato gyatva shate tadantaram. Only by undivided devotional service can I be known as I am standing before you, Arjun. Not that you will know me in truth, but you will be also interact with me in truth, and you will come to me in truth.
The Bluetooth device is ready.
Okay. Did she say it's time for prasad? What टाइम થઈ ગયો એ પ્રશ્ન બીજો હોય તો પૂછો નહીં તો ખાતા તો બીજી જ બધી વાતો થવાની છે બધું ચર્ચા ખાતી વખતે નહીં થાય Oh my God, Tule Bora Champion. મારી પાસે છે કે નહીં ભજન આપો છે આ તો છે મારી પાસે મને ભજન જોઈએ હવે તો મારી યાદ શક્તિ પણ બધી જતી રહે
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.